Hello my friends, welcome to Talk to Me Tuesday for Tuesday, April 23rd, 2019. This is Jennifer. As you can see, I am sitting at my desk again. I am greatly improved from last week, but I'm still a little unsteady on my feet and I still have a lot of bruising and ickiness. So I'm taking it easy and having a seat to share with you all the stuff that's been going on since last week. I did do my demo at Linus on Saturday and it went, I think, very well. I got a lot of compliments and I had a lot of help, which was wonderful. I showed the quilts that I had made and Cynthia had made 2 quilts. So total we had 3 Clover All Over quilts and then we had 2 variations. I made a variation and she made a variation. I added both variations to the Linus handout, which is a handout that's a condensed version of the original pattern and it shows what you need to make the smaller versions. So I will add a link to that on Sew Hooked, and I have already added the link under the original Clover All Over pattern on the free pattern page on Sew Hooked. If you guys make any Clover All Over patterns, I would love to see them. It's a jelly roll pattern, as you are well aware by this point, and it is easy and fun to make. Even the variations, which were mistakes, like my variation was a mistake, and then Cynthia tried to replicate my variation and she created an entirely new pattern. So there are 3 different ways so far that we've figured out that you can change this pattern without changing the fabric amounts or really anything about it. You just turn one piece when you piece it and it changes the whole thing. One of the really fun things that I did to keep myself occupied last week while I was sitting was I lowered my ironing board. I moved my AccuQuilt over to where my sewing machine normally is, and I had 3 bins of fabric that were half-yard-ish cuts from the Linus connection. We get a lot of donated fabric and we sort everything by size to make it easier to share. And I had these 3 bins of fabric, and for a couple of days I just listened to podcasts and YouTube videos and I cut 2.5-inch strips from all of these half-yard cuts, and I made a ton of jelly roll strips to hand out for my demo. And I am sad to say that I have no idea how many of those went away, because after my demo I went to the back of the room to sit down and by the time I looked, everything had been packed. So I don't know how many of them went. I hope a lot of them did. I told our volunteers I didn't care if they made my quilt pattern or not. It just to take those jelly roll strips. And anyway, it was a lot of strips and it kept me busy and off my feet. And I did discover that my rolly chair is extremely useful for ironing and pushing myself one-legged across the room to get what I need. It is 1 more week until the Fat Quarter Lotto drawing. Next Tuesday is the 30th. It's the last Tuesday of the month, which is the Tuesday closest to my birthday, which is why I do the drawing on that day. So we will be doing the drawing for Fat Quarters. As of right now, I have 50 Fat Quarters. So the first person will get 50 Fat Quarters, and if I get 50 more, the next person will get 50. If I get 25 more, the next person will get 25. So the way I've done it the last couple of years is I've split it into 50s, and then whatever's left over is what the last person who's drawn receives. Along with those awesome Fat Quarters, I have been receiving Oodles and Oodles of Orphan blocks. You guys, I'm going to be stocked up for the rest of the year for Linus, and it is fantastic. I took everything down that was on the wall last week, so this is an entirely new collection of Orphan blocks. I want to move over a little so you can see everything that's up here. I have stuff from Rainy and stuff from Abby. I have stuff from people from all over the country, and I am delighted to share this little swath. It actually goes higher and lower, and I have more from Abby that would not fit on the wall. So I've got tons of Orphan blocks, and once all of this is over, probably start sorting them into kits so that I can put together quilt tops really quickly. These lovely blocks, Rainy sent, and there are a couple more further down here, and those are quilt top by themselves. So I'm very excited to be able to put those together and then get those quilted for Linus. We are still accepting entries on Fandom and Stitches for Star Wars patterns, and I will tell you right now that I've seen a bunch of drafted patterns, but I haven't gotten any entries yet. So I'm really hoping that the people who are designing Star Wars patterns will get some in, because it's always a little disappointing to have nothing to post at the end of an event. But if that happens, it happens, and I will still accept those later as regular submissions for Fandom and Stitches. Our new event is called Quilt Your Own own adventure, and it's going to come with a neat little handout that is kind of like building a role-playing character, except for you're creating your fantasy fandom quilt. I cannot wait to share this, you guys, and I hope that if you have a quilt you've been thinking about doing, or you want to make a quilt in a certain fandom and you weren't sure how to do it, I hope you follow along with us. I've essentially taken the way I share a quilt along and I've broken it down into a fill in the blank so you can make your own, and then we will all do it together. My birthday is this weekend, which I totally forgot until my husband reminded me last night, yesterday afternoon, something like that, because I said something about doing a thing on Sunday, and he's like, you know that's your birthday, right? No, totally forgot, just because of all the stuff that's been going on the last week. He's got a thing on Saturday where he's going to be gone, so I'm going to have some friends over to sew, and I'm hoping by then my sewing foot will be functional. It's getting there, but it's really, really slow. So hopefully we'll be back to full functionality by Saturday. I have a wedding quilt that I need to make, and I've had the fabric set aside for a while. My brother got married in February. I have a stack of fabric, and that is all it is at the moment. So hopefully by Saturday, it will at least start to become a quilt top. I will see you guys next week. You have a wonderful week. Have a crafty week, and don't forget to post your videos for the 10th anniversary of Talk to Me Tuesday, because we have 2 awesome drawings for everyone who shares. Bye.